Hey everybody, it's July 9th, 2014. That means it's time for the Stash Project's weekly Stash Report. Hey everybody, it's July 9th, and we're going to do our first of our weekly series of videos covering the latest and, well, perhaps the greatest in kit news and release information. What these videos are going to be are just covering what model kits have been reissued or issued or released, however you want to term the term, depending on the company involved, for the week that we're covering, along with maybe some speculation, some new things we're hearing about through the grapevine, so to speak, maybe occasional commentary on things we like or don't like with the hobby, depending on how you want to look at things. But this one is going to cover the first week of July. There have been several reissues already this month, as well as one brand new kit that came out almost a month earlier than we were expecting it. So let's dive right into what we're looking at here. Several Aoshima spot reissues are out so far. 3 Fujimi spot reissues are out, as well as a brand new kit by the company named Ebro. Now, if you've not heard of Ebro, that may not be the largest shock in my life. They are primarily a die-cast manufacturing company, and recently decided to get into both 1/20th scale vintage F1 plastic model kits, as well as 1/24 scale model kits. The 1/20th scale vintage F1, as well as their first 1/24 scale kit, were done in cooperation with Tamiya. Their newest kit is cooperative with Heller. If you have not seen the Ebro Citron Tusi Forgonaut before, we may do a quick review video of that at some time at a later date. It's not a real priority at the moment, but it was about 70% Tamiya, and the rest of it was designed by Ebro. The head of the Ebro's kit division used to work as a kit designer at Tamiya, so it made a lot of sense for them to work in concert on these early kits. The kit is so much Tamiya. As a matter of fact, all the parts runners still have the Tamiya logo stamped into the runners, and they use Tamiya paint callouts, rather. All of the dirty parts of that car, the engine, most of the interior pieces for the front of the cab, the hood and everything like that were all Tamiya parts, and then Ebro did the cargo box that was on the back of it. Now, what Ebro is doing now is a Renault 4L. The first one of these kits, there's going to be 3 of them. Yes, you didn't know you needed a Renault 4L. Now you need 4 of them, technically, if you count the Heller version that will be out at some point in 2014. There's no release date for their thing at all. Their kit should be a older version of the kits as far as vintage-wise than the kits that Ebro's going to be offering. Their first kit that they're coming out with is going to be this one. It is a canvas top 4L. Now, the 4L got some popularity maybe last year because it is officially the Pope Mobile. The Pope has a white one that he got from a priest in Italy. This is not the Pope Mobile because it is not a solid steel roof car like the Pope's 4L is. This kit can be built one of 2 ways, either the way the box art right there is showing, or in this later year variation. The original one, the one on the box art, is for a 1967 to 1974 French domestic market car, and then this other one is a 1978 to the end of the production run export vehicle. The vehicle in this question would have Japanese number plates, obviously supposed to be exported to Japan. These cars were also incredibly popular in the what would be considered the Eastern Soviet bloc countries. Of course, a lot of things have happened to those countries in relation to what they used to be compared to what they are. But if you look, say, at the Wikipedia entry for the 4L, the first thing comes up is a 1978 export version sitting in Croatia. The 4L was one of the most highest selling popular vehicles that any French automotive company ever put out. So you can sort of see the heritage and the reasoning behind it. Obviously, these kits are designed for the Asian and European markets more than they are for the U.S. market because the 4L was never exported directly here. What the kit offers you for those two versions are 2 sets of interior mirrors, 2 sets of exterior mirrors, 2 sets of steering wheels, 2 sets of wheels and, well, not so much tires, but wheels and hubcaps, and then 2 sets of like front grille surrounds. The front grille and the headlight area, if you notice, is really the only big major difference on the front end, and those are offered as separate pieces, so you can build the kit either way. It's not a 2-in-1 in the traditional senses. They're not two real different variations of it. There's not a rally car and a street car, for example, but it is a 2-in-1 in the sense that you can build one or the other, either a domestic market French car or an export market car. It could be an export market car, of an earlier vintage or a later vintage, French car. You can do all sorts of things with this. The doors are separate, as well as the rear hatch. They can be positioned either open or closed. They do not open and close, in a functional sort of way, but for, a above average skill modeler, it shouldn't be too hard to make the doors actually work if that's your thing. The hood also can be positioned either up or down. It flips forward, sort of Corvette style, or 80s Corvette style anyway. And again, that's not a working hood. It's either open or closed, but, again, not that much work should go into making it into a functional one. There's going to be 2 other Ebro kits, as I mentioned. One is going to be a steel roof version, so you can build your Popemobile, and then they're going to do their own version of the Renault 4 Fourgonay. It wasn't a 4L anymore when it got made into the cargo box. Don't know that I get the steel roof one. It's kind of similar to the canvas roof one, but the Fourgonay certainly seems like a neat idea. I like these sort of vintage European sedan deliveries, basically, what it amounts to. Also, the canvas top on that Ebro kit can be positioned either fully open or fully closed, or not even glued on, so you can see the whole interior. It's however you want to do it. The Fujimi kits, we've got 3 spot run reissues. We'll cover real quick here. They are this 1989 Toyota Celsior C-Type. Supposedly has bonus lowdown parts. I believe that's because the Fujimi kit was issued a number of times as VIP cars and track safety car. A couple different things they did with this kit. Over the years, it hasn't been out in sort of factory stock trim for a long time. A lot of people will recognize the Celsior here in the States as being the Toyota LS400. There is an LS400 version of this kit, if you're interested in it. Also, Tamiya and Aoshima did versions of the Celsior and the Lexus. However, only the Tamiya one actually has an engine and suspension, full-on detail. The Fujimi and Aoshima are curbsides. The other kit here is going to be this 89 Nissan Skyline GTR R32. Kind of odd to see this one get reissued because I think you could still back order it at HobbyLink Japan at least. It's going to be a real basic kit, no engine detail. It's all curbside. I have the V-Spec 2 version of this kit, and I believe I paid about $12 for it. This one's looks like it's selling again for about $13. And it's, for what it is, it's a nice kit. But if you go spending $30, $40 on this, you're going to be really disappointed, as it's not going to be comparable to the Tamiya R32 Skyline that has a full engine and full suspension detail. The last kit that was spot run this month so far is the Skyline 25 GT Turbo with the factory aero package. If you notice, this kit has sort of a bigger air dam. It has a giant spoiler. It has a different set of wheels and ground effects from the factory stock 25 GT Turbo. A little history on the car itself, as a lot of people don't realize it is a rear-wheel drive version of a GTR, basically. The GTR was an all-wheel drive car, Godzilla and all that, the hype of the car. This is sort of a detuned, little less ferocious rear-wheel drive version. If you compare the two cars, you notice they look a lot alike, the rear-wheel drive and different front and rear fascias being pretty much the only difference between the cars, but the performance difference is worlds apart. Lastly, I guess we're going to go to Aoshima, as that is sort of where we're at here. They got 3 spot runs out so far. This one, 4 actually. One of them we actually have here, so we're going to show a picture of it that way. Is it's a 2010 Toyota Crown Athlete. The Toyota Crown kits were sold by Aoshima, and both the Crown Royal, which is sort of the luxury car version, and the Crown Athlete, which is sort of aimed at the younger demographic, mid-30s, who want a sportier car. They were pretty much identical until 2008, 2010, somewhere in there, when the Athlete actually got a bigger V6 in it than the Crown Royal has. This is sort of a spot run last chance for this kit to a certain extent. Now that it may come out again in the future, and probably I can guarantee you it will come out in the future in spot runs as well as VIP cars. But one of the new kits that we're expecting from Aoshima actually tomorrow on the 10th of July should be a 2012 Crown Royal Hybrid. This kit will be almost all new. The only parts that are going to share are some of the very basic chassis parts. Everything from the dirty side up is brand new tooling, body, wheels, interior, everything. So there's also going to be a version of it with 20-inch wheels. The 20-inch wheels, as far as we have seen, are going to be the BBS LM wheels that were offered as a wheel set. They were offered in a Toyota Crown VIP, as well as being basically the same wheels that are in the Mines R34 GTR kit that Aoshima did. So it's not a new set of wheels. I like the set of wheels, but I don't like them enough to buy a whole nother Crown Royal Hybrid to get them. There's also going to be a detail-up photo etch set for it, but we haven't seen any pictures of what that's going to include. If it's going to just be some photo etch, or if they're going to throw some floor mats into it. The Lamborghini kits, the Aventador and the Murcielago, sort of had floor mats and seat belts and all these little doodads to make the kit more complete because the doors open and close on those kits. The Crowns they go back a while, but the most recent ones are 2003, 2005, 2008, 2010, and now 2012. They've redone the kit basically every generation of the Crown. In both the Athlete and the Crown Royal versions are curbside kits. They're just static display models. They're almost sort of unassembled promotional models like what you got from AMT Ertl in the 90s, but, not quite the same sort of thing, as they're not really promotional models in that fashion. They all, for the most part, all have working suspensions. They're designed for easy assembly, is what the paperwork says for them. Easy assembly. They screw together on the bottom, as opposed to gluing try to glue the springs down. That you can screw the springs down, which allows you to sort of control the height of the suspension as well. There's two Hiluxes that got reissued already this month, and they are this sort of jacked up quad cab long bed. 92 version here, and then they also reissued the 89 to 91 short bed lowrider kit. The Hiluxes seem to get really reissued like a good set of tires every year or so. They kick out a couple more new ones, or well, they're not new, but they're a couple new reissues of the older kits. It's interesting that all these kits were U.S. spec, but unless you could find an export version of them, none of them have U.S. spec interiors. There are some that were exported either through American Satco or through, I believe, Squadron probably later on, that have a left-hand drive component to them, but these ones don't. These are straight JDM cars. Last but not least, they already did. It came out this morning. Reissued this 2010 R35 GTR. This is a car. This one comes with the engine insert. It's not a full engine, but it's a lot better version of an engine insert than the Tamiya kit as far as that goes. But this is a JDM kit. It is right-hand drive only. One of the things we found out, a little speculation into the future here, there's going to be a 2014 Nissan GTR R35 kit that Aoshima is going to be doing. We're looking at probably September at the earliest for that kit. And, just between me, you, and a lamppost, every one of those R35 kits that Aoshima has ever put out from 2010 until now has had a left-hand drive kit issued afterwards. Both the curbside version of the 2010 and the engine version of the 2010, and then the 2013 edition of their tooling update of the GTR had a left-hand drive North American version that was basically impossible to find. I believe it was molded out of unobtainium because it was there for about 6 months. And now if you want to find one, I could find you one in Spain that you could try to export if you can understand enough Spanish, or you look at buying them on Amazon for about $150. We're trying to get them to reissue that kit. A lot of us are petitioning the Facebook page that Aoshima runs to try to get that kit to come out one last time. But, again, they're probably nothing's certain. Everything based on sales and all that sort of stuff. But if you want a left-hand drive kit, go to Aoshima's Facebook page and demand one. Let their voices be heard. They are very receptive to their customers in that way. The one other kit from Aoshima that we're expecting to come out this week is the 2013 Lamborghini Aventador Roadster. Now, there are going to be 2 box art versions of this. One is for Japanese consumption, which is the one you'll see on Hobby Search and HLJ, and then there's an export version, which is one we have here courtesy of Aoshima's Facebook page, which is this sort of Miami Beach backgrounded, whoops, we went a little too far there. Let's go back. This Miami Beach backgrounded car with a blue car on it. This kit is 75% new. Your engine, some of your interior pieces, most of the suspension pieces are going to carry over, but it is an entirely new body. There's so many differences between the Roadster and the Coupe that they couldn't just modify it. It had to be a brand new body. So some new interior pieces that go with the Roadster version. The roof, it could be either on or off. There's a separate detachable roof piece for this. The engine cover is different. They've replaced all of the intakes that were clear parts with decals applied over them with actual engraved mesh areas. They're saying about 75% of the photo etch that they offered for the Aventador Coupe will work with the Roadster, but they're not going to reissue a specific version for the Roadster. Also, there are new wheels and new tires because these are completely different wheels from the original issue of the Aventador in 2011. One other little speculation thing. We talked about it in the July speculation video, and then I found a picture of the box art on their website, is the Chevy Cruze World Touring Championship car that B-Max from Macau is going to be putting out in association with Aoshima. So there's your box art on that in case you were kind of wondering what in the world a World Touring Car Championship Chevrolet Cruze look like. This will be the 2012 World Champion car. I don't know if they're going to actually issue 3 versions of this kit or just one that'll have all 3 decal packages in it, because what they're showing online are 3 different cars driven by 3 different drivers. Again, there's no specific release date on this. It was supposed to come out in July, so that's where we're going to start touching on it real quick here, but there's no availability to pre-order, which makes me think this is going to be at least August, perhaps September, before this one comes out in its entirety. All the test shots look really good. It's curbside kit, but it is really refined curbside kit. A lot of really fine detailing on the molds from what we've seen. So, it's certainly, if a racing kit like that interests you, don't be afraid of a new company. They are working with Aoshima, so, Aoshima, how much of a hand Aoshima really has in the design of it, I don't know, but I know Aoshima at least got to sort of check off the test run of the kit. So they're not going to put their label on something that's complete and total junk. So that about wraps up what we're looking at for the first week of July in 2014. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video and the concept behind it. Look for new videos every Wednesday as we cover what comes out week to week. Some videos will be more kit-centric and less hobby-centric, and some will be just me jabbering on about what I think about the hobby, because there haven't been that many kits issued, and there's not that much release information to talk about. So as always, subscribe to the channel, rate the video, comment down in the comment section if you have specific questions that we have the answers to. We'll try to answer them in future videos. In the meantime, we'll see you on the other side.